everybody in that race shop over there at JGR, because a lot of folks turned a blind eye to what was going on. They knew exactly what they were doing. Y'all knew that was illegal. What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia, with another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Man, if y'all watched that race on Sunday, you know we got a lot to go over here coming up. We're going to go ahead and get right into it, y'all. If it's the first time tuning in, we like to start out the show out with what we call the word of the day. So the way this is played is every time I drop a word, Lawrence is going to throw up here at some point in time. Every time I say that word tonight in the episode, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say it's age appropriate as well. If you're under the age of 21, I tell everybody all the time, get some Red Bulls, get some sweet tea, get some Kool-Aid, get jacked up, get live, man. You got a little bit of time before we're back at school, man, so make sure you enjoy the rest of your summer. So last week's word of the day, I have no idea. I don't have my sheet up here that tells me, so I have no idea, but I'm sure if you played along, you had a great time. This week's word of the day is going to be, I don't know, man, but every time I say this word during tonight's episode, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult beverage, y'all. So getting right into that NASCAR news, I mean, really, honestly, if you guys watch, you already know what happened, man. After the crazy race, when it seemed like Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch battling it out for that win, Denny came home with the checkered. Not so fast, man. NASCAR pulled that card real quick.
Come on, man.
They DQ'd him after a pre-race or post-race inspection. And the man, the myth, the bulldog himself, Mr. Chase Elliott, comes home with that win, man. So we're going to touch base on this a little bit later on in the show, but that was the biggest thing that happened there Sunday, man. So speaking of Chase, hey, man, he's 2 for 2 in the SRX series. The man went out there, won another SRX race. I'm telling you, I think he's kind of like Kyle Larson, man. It doesn't really matter what you put him behind. He's learning to wheel and drive everything. The guy is a hell of a race car driver. If you're not a fan or don't have somebody yet, you better jump on that 9 bandwagon, man, because I'm telling you, it's filled up. It's already at capacity, but we got room for more. Y'all come on over, man. So, hey, Noah Gragson won the Xfinity race, man. What an awesome battle sitting there with Ty Gibbs. Those guys had it out there at the very end of that race, man, and race clean, which I love to see. 2 of the up-and-coming biggest NASCAR stars that are in the Xfinity Series right now. Both of them have a very bright future ahead of them. Got to give another big shout-out out there to Noah Gragson. He liked one of our tweets out there for Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Won us a little bit of that cabbage out there, betting on him this weekend in that Xfinity race, man. And I tell you what, just an awesome dude. Great personality, very aggressive driver, doesn't take any shit from anybody. And, man, love to see him come home and do, get that checkered flag there at Pocono. And he burned it down on the front stretch. And he did a little burnout in Victory Circle, man, which is awesome. So big shout out there to Noah Gragson, man. If you're looking for a guy up and coming, as soon as he gets in that Cup Series for a decent team, hopefully Junior Motorsports, as we've been talking in the next couple years, jump on that bandwagon, man. He's an awesome dude. Great character for the sport, man. So more big news coming out, man. Darlington has officially signed its first NIL deal, man. Big news. We all know if you're a college football fan, name, image, and likeness is a big playing point now in college football. Getting these college athletes paid hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million deals, being able to make money off of their name, image, and likeness, whether it be sponsorship, whether it be commercials, whether it be a brand, whatever it may be, they're able to do that now. So Darlington threw their name in the hat. It's the Coastal Carolina quarterback, Mr. Grayson McCall, is going to be the first official face of Darlington Racetrack. He's going to promote the Labor Day, the Southern 500, the crown jewel there. He's going to be promoting that, using NASCAR commercials, Darlington commercials to promote that, as well as other races that are going to go over for the next, I don't know how long the deal is, couple years, but that's going to be the new face of Darlington, man. So there again, even college football and NASCAR team up, man, and get those NIL deals out there and get guys, new faces to promote the sport. Both sports, both ways, man. So absolutely love it. I figure a lot of other tracks are going to fall in as well. We have seen some other, football players been used to promote certain things at different racetracks. Can't wait to see Atlanta because, hopefully they don't throw any tech players in there because that's just going to drive fans away. But if you throw some of them Bulldogs in there, man, boy, you're going to have all kinds of people coming out in flocks to that race, man. So keep that in mind, Atlanta Motor Speedway. If y'all look at something, don't get no Georgia Tech players, man. We can't be doing that, y'all. So do want to give a big shout out there to social media, y'all. If you haven't yet, please go out, like, share, follow all our social media. You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook. definitely make sure you go and check out that Rubbin' and Grubbin' YouTube page. Like and subscribe to that for sure. Share that as well, man. I like to use that as my tool. The more eyes I get on it, the more hopefully neat things they see that we do up here at Coaches and charitable events we have on. And I always like to say, the more eyes, hopefully the more money we raise for these causes. So there again, if you haven't yet, like, share, follow, all that social media out there, and definitely check out that YouTube page. Lawrence does a really, really nice job spicing it up. Throw some shorts in there, throw some little tad bits and you know, twinkles in there. You know, make it all nice and fancy, a little more refined than what I do here at Coaches. But make sure you check that out, man. So Ty Gibbs made his Cup Series debut this week. They're filling in for Kurt Busch. Kurt was sidelined there at Pocono with concussion-like symptoms. Got checked out pre-race, wasn't cleared by NASCAR's medical team to go out and compete. So Ty Gibbs filled in, and I tell you, did a pretty good job there running it, man. Had to borrow some shoes from Hamlin, had to borrow a fire suit from somebody. But at the end of the day, he got in there behind the wheel and came home 18th. After the DQ of a couple other Toyotas, ended up finishing 16th, man. So great run there for no Cup experience outside the simulator probably. And I tell you what, man, he's got a bright future. Coming out before I was on my way up here figuring it out, Kurt Busch is not cleared again to compete this week at Indy. So Ty Gibbs is going to be pulling double duty there again, maybe triple duty. I don't know if he's in that truck race. He is in the Cup Series race in the 45 for 2311. Great exposure for 2311 as a brand, McDonald's, Jordan brand, everybody that sponsors those two cars, and as well as great experience and seat time for Ty Gibbs. So I think it's going to pay dividends. The more seat time you can get him in the car to compete, especially in this next gen car, the better he's going to be when he comes into it full time. So kind of a win-win for both teams there. So, hey, JGR isn't the only team that got busted there, y'all. The 34 and Michael McDowell also got busted. You know, with some illegal stuff that they had. They somehow manipulated one of the third-party parts that NASCAR mandates you cannot do anything to. Hasn't been released yet to exactly what it was that they manipulated or changed in a way, but 100 driver points, $100,000 in crew chief suspension for 4 races, man, that says it all. Now, the one kind of thing that I got an issue with here a little bit, and it kind of resorts back to those JGR Toyotas, is taking the win away from Denny Hamlin. If you're found illegal, I get, right? And we all know that NASCAR inspects the top 5 cars after every race, post-race. A lot of folks don't understand why it wasn't caught in pre-race. They don't peel the wrap off the car in pre-race. They laser it. They do a lot of different things. They look for things. But post-race, they tear the wrap off. They look at the actual body of the race car, and it was found illegal. You know, they had tape in places they didn't there, weren't supposed to at JGR, and a lot of folks go, well, it was a, you know, 2.5 inch by 2 inch by 5.5 inch wide piece of tape. What's that do? It does a lot, man. It really does. It doesn't take much to manipulate these cars and maybe make the front end sit harder on the ground to give it a little aerodynamic advantage, and NASCAR deemed that it was. There were other teams out there said it wouldn't give you that much of an advantage, but at the end of the day, illegal is illegal, and NASCAR said with this next-gen car, they were not playing around. They set the tone early in the year with Brad Keselowski in the 6, and they continue to stand by what they did earlier in the year and what they say. So there again, now getting back to what I was saying, the one issue I have is I get taking the win away from Denny Hamlin, but if we are not going to take the 6th place finish and points away from Michael McDowell or 8th or wherever he ended up finishing, if we're not going to do that, then why did we take the points away from Kyle Busch and make him finish 35th or 6th or wherever it was, dead last or above Hamlin, whatever it may be? Why do we do that to him? So I think that's something that maybe Gibbs should have kind of looked at. I know Michael McDowell kind of came out a little late, but if I was Gibbs, I'd be asking NASCAR about that now. I mean, it's kind of unfair to take away from one driver who didn't win the race. 2nd and 6th is all the same to me. You didn't get the checkers. So at the end of the day, something that I think Gibbs should look into. I think it's something NASCAR also has to look into. Fair is fair and right is right. So I get taking the win away from the 11 and docking the points, getting the last place finish, but I don't understand it with the Candy Man. And that's about the only time you're ever going to hear me really stand up for him, but I am going to stand up for him on that. I think that's dead wrong, something that they should look into. So that'll wrap it up for the news, y'all. We're getting right into that bubble watch. Man, I told you guys I'm going to keep you guys updated on that. We have had some changes there. Again, 15th and 16th haven't changed. We still find Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex inside, Truex being on that bubble. But the distance did grow between it and Kevin Harvick. We know, we'll get into it a little bit later, why Harvick had some point loss there, but 83 points back. So at this point, I know Rodney Childers feels like it's going to take 2 wins to get in. I don't see it that way. I think that if Harvick comes out and gets a win, whether it be this week or I think we've got 5 weeks left until the playoffs start. If he gets a win, it's definitely going to pay dividends. He's going to jump pretty high in those points just based off his regular season status and the amount of points that he has there. So he's going to jump. I don't think it'll be quite 9th, what I said a couple weeks ago or last week. I think it'll be probably 11th, 12th range, 13th. But he definitely should jump. The regular season points that he has are a little bit higher than some of those guys sitting 13, 14, 15. So, you know, it's going to push one of those other guys that are on the bubble out. So it's something to keep an eye on. I think they can go out and get it done. We still got Richmond. We still got, you know, Michigan, which we've seen Kevin Harvick run good there as well. I've got another guy in mind for that racetrack, but at the end of the day, it's still possible. But he does find himself on the outside a little further back. I think that's like 20 points, 20-plus points got gained on him. And that's a big, you know, people don't understand how big those points are. And when you look at the playoff situation in general, and you got Chase Elliott sitting at first and Ross Chastain second, 16 points separates first and second when we start these playoffs as of right now. So 16 points is 16 places on that racetrack. So that kind of gives the 9 a little bit of leeway there in the first few rounds for sure. And if you look at regular season, Elliott's just smoking them, man. So we're going to get into that in a bit. But Bubble Watch, like I said, it grew a little bit for Kevin Harvick. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, got to make some things happen. They're going to have to throw a Hail Mary at some point in time, whether it's different pit strategy or whether it's bringing just the best race car they could possibly bring to the track. But they got to do something to find themselves inside the playoffs, man. And I would hate to see a guy like Harvick, who has made the playoffs consistently for so many years, miss out. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, so we have to keep an eye on it, y'all. So moving right into my favorite segment of the show, Checkered Flag for Charity. Y'all seen me throw a couple bucks in here already tonight. It's my swear bucket. But if it's your first time tuning in, the way the Checkered Flag for Charity works is whatever car number wins, we donate that into the pot. Now this year, we're doing it for something very close to me and my family, my wife and I. One of our friends passed away unexpectedly in her sleep here earlier in the year. She left behind a younger daughter. John and Adele Henderson have been kind enough, and all the patrons, everybody here at Coach is nice enough to let me come up and do Checkered Flag for Charity for them this year. So what we're doing is raising money for an educational fund for Miss Pacey, as I like to call her, but Payson Thompson, raising money. And so far, man, we're doing really good. I think we're floating right around $2,000 for. Going to have a cooler full of joy up here for this sellout concert, which I'm going to touch base on in a little bit this Saturday at Coach's. Me and my wife will be here a little bit early. We'll have that cooler set up. You can buy raffle tickets throughout that concert. It will be raffled off that night at the end of the show. So if you do buy a raffle ticket, make sure you hang out for a few extra minutes while we give this cooler full of joy away. Make sure you bring some extra cash if you're already coming to the concert, man. But as we know, seeing as how the 11 got stripped of it illegal and seeing how the 18 is illegal, third place falls on Chase Elliott. That's another 20, because anything under Christopher Bell, man, we always throw a 20 in. Chase is the 9, 20 more bucks getting added into that, man. Like I say all the time, doesn't matter. Pennies, nickels, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you got to donate, to give, make sure you give, man. You get to feel good. It all stays local, and it all goes to great causes, y'all. So there again, make sure you donate. It all stays local right here in the Savannah area, man. So we're going to move right into the second favorite part of the show that we do, and that's the Who's Hot and Who's Not, and that's sponsored by Arbor Man Tree Service. My buddy Parker Eccles, one of my main men, he's kind enough to sponsor Rubbin' and Grubbin' outside of a couple other folks every single year, man. It's never a question asked. He's in it every year. So if you ever need any kind of tree service done here in Savannah, make sure you give Parker a call over there at Arbor Man. You're going to see that number scrolling, locally owned, locally operated, insured. Hey, man, I tell you guys all the time, if you're unsure of what you need, I know we're in hurricane season. It's been a really slack season so far this year, but I got a feeling here in October, November, those tropics going to heat up out there in the Atlantic, man. But anyways, at the end of the day, if you need any kind of tree service done, give Parker Eccles a call. He'd be more than glad to give you an estimate. Doesn't matter if it's tree, limb trimming, full tree removal, stump grinding. If you just don't know, if you just need an estimate on what should and what can't, very truthful dude. He's going to give you the lowdown on what can stay and what needs to go to help you protect your home from a catastrophic deal, man. So there again, Parker Eccles over there, Arbor Man Tree Service. You'll see that number scrolling. Make sure you give Parker a call, man. As I say all the time, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call, y'all. But we're going to get right into that Who's Hot. And to be honest, y'all, as if it's any surprise on who stays number one, I told y'all he's going to stay number one until somebody else comes and knocks the king off the throne and takes the crown. I don't see nobody taking the crown for the whole rest of the season, y'all. Chase the Bulldog Elliott is going to stay number one. And no, it's not for the win. It's just for the whole season. That makes 4 wins. And I love the comments that he came out and said on his interview. He goes, look, if Denny wants to keep the trophy, Denny can keep the trophy. I crossed the finish line P3. It's not a win in my book. And that speaks volumes on this young driver's mindset and a champion that he is, man. I'm telling you right now, he might not want to win. It might not read that way, but the points do say he won that race, man. That's what matters. When you go back and look over the last, well, we got 5 weeks now. We got 3 wins and 2 second-place finishes for Elliott, man. Absolutely murdering it. This guy is consistent week in and week out, fast week in and week out. Him and Alan Gustafson are clicking. This reminds me a lot of Jeff Gordon, Ray Evernham, Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus type shit, to be honest with y'all. I'm not even going to lie, man. If these two stay together and they keep it rolling and they keep doing what they've been doing over the next few years, man, you're going to see this kid in the record books in my heart, undoubtedly, but you're going to see this kid in the Hall of Fame one day, guaranteed, man. They just got it clicking. That 19's battle tested. They fought back hard there at Pocono. They tried to go out and win it on their own. Didn't work out that way. A couple guys ran illegal. I mean, look, man, let's be honest. Y'all got to cheat. Y'all got to cheat to beat this man right now, man. You can't even beat him fair and square. You got to cheat to beat the man. So, did get a kick out of it out there on social media. Dawsonville Pool Room, man, they always like to post some funny stuff. They had a sign up there, Chase Elliott wins Pocono, 2020 NASCAR champion. The end was kind of hanging off. They said, hey, anybody, got some tape out there? I wonder if JGR let us borrow a piece, man. So got a good laugh out of that. That was pretty good, all in good fun. But at the end of the day, Chase Elliott's going to stay number one on that list, y'all. Like I said, till somebody and tries to come take the bone away from this Bulldog, that's number one, brother. Ross Chastain is still sitting at number 2. And look, y'all, I know a lot of folks been talking about it all week long. We're going to get into it in just a little bit about it harder. But what happened, all right? Chastain had probably the fastest car out there all day long, the only one that was able to go up there and pass by Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch once Denny got back up there after his lap 1 mishap. But at the end of the day, man, Trackhouse is on point in the one camp, man. They keep bringing fast cars, fast pit stops, really not losing that many spots on pit road. And what they do, they're able to gain right back out with the horsepower they're bringing out of those Trackhouse cars, man. So Ross Chastain's going to stay 2. He finds himself second in those playoff standings. 2 wins on the year. I think he's got 10 top 5s, 11 top 5s, 3 2-stage wins. Finds himself in a pretty good position, man. The guy is on fire. I'm not going to knock him. Now, the one thing I say there again depends if they feel that playoff pressure. I've been saying it for a couple weeks. If Ross and his team can continue to do what they've been doing all season long, week in and week out through these playoffs, can stay out of trouble, can stay away from Denny Hamlin, that's going to be key, to stay away from Denny Hamlin during these playoffs, because in my eyes, he's still owed a couple. If they can stay away from him, keep the nose clean, keep performing the way they have, Ross Chastain will make that 4. I still have him out in the round of 8, maybe even before, to be honest with you. I think I might even said he won't make the round of 8. We're going to have to keep. That's just my opinion on it. I'd love to hear what y'all think. Write a little comment on there, man. Let me know if you think he makes the round of 8. In my eyes, I think other guys are going to hit on some strides and come on some things, and he might not make it. Couple bad races there with Denny Hamlin, putting you in the wall. Those points go away really quick. So we'll see if they can maintain, man. All right, man. Last but not least on the hot list, y'all, I got to throw Christopher Bell in there. I tell you what, this guy seemed like he heated up there at the beginning part of summer, kind of hit a little cool spell, had some stuff kind of not go his way, lost a tire on pit road, running good. Kind of been the story all season long with this 20 team, or I think you would see them maybe have 2 wins and a little bit higher up in the playoff standings. But at the end of the day, they are finding speed when they need it. And to be honest, out of that JGR camp, they're the most solid guys week in and week out that I see, speed-wise and just the way they maintain. Yeah, I know people are going to go Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch running up front at Pocono. Yeah, they were illegal. Christopher Bell ended up sneaking in there, man, and having a really, really good fast run there for a while. I mean, it was awesome. And to see him at New Hampshire come away with that win, class act, class of the field that day later on in that race, man. So at the end of the day, hey, I'm not taking nothing away from Christopher Bell. There again, it's going to be interesting to see if they can be consistent and continue to run top 10 week in and week out with none of these bad finishes or bad things happening. In the playoffs, we all know when you're only racing a certain amount of guys for those points, honestly, you're racing the field, but you're racing those guys. Anytime you finish behind a few of them, you're backing up. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can bring that thunder, bring that heat into the playoffs with them, and get that 20 car at least deep in those playoffs, man. Maybe the round of 8, maybe the round of 4. Who knows? It could happen. So just got to see what he's got going on. But I do have nothing but respect for Christopher Bell. I think he's a very talented young race car driver. He's got very fast equipment. I'm telling you right now, I think JGR is a great fit. That 20 camp's a great fit for him. We'll see if he can keep on winning, man. So that's going to do it for the Who's Hot, y'all. We're going to go ahead and move right into the Who's Not. And, man, I'm going to tell you, I don't have a driver, number one, this week. I've got some car engineers. And that's some car chief engineers, some car builders, some everybody in that race shop over there at JGR, because a lot of folks turned a blind eye to what was going on. They knew exactly what they were doing. Y'all knew that was illegal. Man, at the end of the day, it cost you a lot of points compared to a win. You guys had it either way, man. I don't think anybody was messing with that. Denny is so good, tied with my favorite driver of all time, Jeff Gordon, with the most wins at Pocono. Thought he was going to take that record over. But I'm going to be upset with the car chiefs. I'm going to be upset with the head engineers in that shop, man. I mean, this is stuff, I get it. I'm not mad at them for trying to find a little bit of extra horsepower. I'm not mad at him for cheating. I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's honestly what it is. It's a brand new car. We got to figure out ways that we can go faster, and maybe, you know, they turn a blind eye to it or they don't catch it. Well, they caught it. So I don't blame the drivers. I mean, hey, man, you guys go to the shop and you might take a look at the car throughout the week, and you might, you know, talk and do this and that, but honestly, you're the one that gets behind the wheel and drives the car. You don't look what's under the wrap necessarily. You don't know all the you know, odds and ends of what it goes in to make it do what it does. You just get behind the wheel and you make it do what it does. So at the end of the day, not upset with Hamlin or upset with Kyle. I'm going to be a little bit more upset with engineers, and you can guarantee that somebody inside that race shop got some ass in a boiling pot this week. They are in some hot water, boy. I can guarantee you that, because I know Coach Gibbs does not play around with stuff like that. I don't know if he knew or not. I would hope that he did, but in a business that size and running that kind of corporation and everything he's got his hands in, he's a busy man. So probably didn't get that phone call like, hey, Coach, we put some tape on the front. They probably just did it and wrapped it up, but it cost them, man. So hopefully they learned from their mistake. NASCAR definitely is on the A game of looking out for things, not only inside the parts, but on the body of that race car. So I suggest anybody that's inside the playoffs, if you're going to try to cheat, you better do it now, because once you get in the playoffs, oh, man, you're going to get banned. You're going to get kicked out of them, guaranteed. You pull a level 3 penalty in the playoffs, that's it. You're out, done, period. So just something to chew on there. Number 2 on this on the not list, man. I tell you guys, he was on there last week. That's Joey Logano, man. Joey Logano is going to make the list again. Had an absolute horrible showing there at Pocono again. I don't know what's gotten into this 22 camp. They are struggling over there to find speed to bring really good race cars to the track. Now, I don't know if they're trying some new things, getting ready for the playoffs. I don't know what they're doing, but to watch him run that bad as many weeks as he had, they've got some trouble over there, and they really have a very short amount of time, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, to get it correct, to you know, get back into championship playoff contention, man. Championship form, playoff form. So I think a lot of people had Joey Logano probably in that Final Four this year. I know I did. I put him in there pretty much almost every year that he's in contention, and he's just that good when we get in the playoffs, and I think a lot of the tracks fit his style of racing. But there again, man, we have got to see them get this form back. So Joey Logano is going to stay on that not list in the second place right now until they get it figured out. I know Roger Penske probably can't be happy with the way they've been performing as a whole over the last month or so. But at the end of the day, they got to get it together. They got to get it figured out. They got to find their speed. So another Penske guy, and I'm not picking on him, Ryan Blaney. I just mentioned him, man. You know, had a pretty good, decent race car there at Pocono. Had a flat tire issue we'll get into a little bit. Had to come in, make that extra pit stop, and then just driving it too hard, lost it out of turn 3 like we saw a lot of guys do, not only trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series. All seem to be losing it out of 3 there. So just something you got to keep an eye on. Ryan Blaney found himself sitting really good in those regular season points, but when you look at the playoff picture, he is not safe. Now, with that being said, you guys heard me call this about a month ago. My dad keeps reminding me of it, so I'm going to say it again. Ryan Blaney is going to go out and win Michigan next week. If he doesn't win the Indy Road Course, which we'll see if he's in my top 5 here later on the show, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't do it this week, Michigan is going to be that one track I look at to watch out for that 12 car, because Penske and Ford seem to bring rockets to Michigan, man. We know that's home of Ford, Detroit. Come on, y'all. I mean, they're going to bring some rockets. Yeah, Lawrence is throwing up the oval symbol to me. I'm a bow tie guy. whatever, man. I'm not even worried about it. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see. If anybody can beat Chase, it'll happen there. It ain't going to happen this week. I promise you that. But anyways, that's my thought on it. I think Blaney goes out and wins Michigan, secures himself into those playoffs. Then it comes down to the battle between Truex and Harvick, who can get a win first, or if Harvick can get a win, because I think that's what it's going to take. And there again, if Truex comes back the next week before or after and they both win, it's going to be an interesting playoff picture here when we head into Daytona, which is, it makes it all that much more exciting, man. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated on that. So moving right into that Pocono recap, and man, I tell you what a race to recap it was. I mean, I thought the racing there was awesome. Probably one of the better Pocono races I've seen in the last few years. I mean, honestly, it really was. It seemed like there was like guys racing. We know Pocono, it gets strung out. It's fuel mileage. It's a strategy race. It's coming down to a lot of different things that happen there at Pocono. But there again, we saw guys battling it out. We saw guys making moves, passing a little bit, getting runs on guys, fighting side by side for a few laps. So to me, pretty decent race for what we've seen in years past at Pocono. But now we're going to get into the tea. We're going to get in and we're going to spill the tea all over the table, y'all. Where do we even start, man? I guess we'll start at the point where we got Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain starting side by side there on a restart. And if you've been watching the sport all season long, everybody knew what was coming. Now, here's my opinion on it, and I'm glad there's a lot of older school NASCAR folks that watch it. Denny didn't take Ross Chastain out. Denny didn't wreck Ross Chastain. Denny did to Ross Chastain pretty much what he's been doing to everybody else all year. That's an old school veteran move. Dive bombed him on the inside, ran him up out of the groove of that racetrack, and he gave him two options. Either you wreck or you lift. And he didn't lift, and you see the results of it. Now, the big thing I hate is Kevin Harvick getting caught up in that, having a really good run up there up front. I mean, honestly, with the DQs, would have finished top 3, top 4. So there again, I hate to see that for the 4 camp, wrong place, wrong time, getting caught up in somebody else's mess. But getting back to Denny and Ross, like I said, Denny didn't wreck them. Denny didn't blatantly go out and take them out. He didn't, do some things like we've seen Chastain do. I mean, at some point in time, you got to take your foot off of the gas, and Ross Chastain is one of those guys that just doesn't do it. And I think as we get after this year, as he grows and being a top 10 Cup Series driver, you're going to learn. You've got to lift, man. It's not always, I mean, you took away a race-winning car. Now, not saying that Denny wouldn't have blatantly taken you out for that win or at some point in time, but at the end of the day, you took yourself out of a win contention there anyway. So I still think Denny owes him a couple, and I'm telling you, Hamlin's going to wait till these playoffs get here, and he's going to hit him when it costs him the most. So that's that part of the race. We saw a lot of guys, having some issues, having different things happen, long pit stops, flat tires, having some wrecks. We saw just an awesome all-around good race there, man. I mean, the 18 looked to be the class of the field all day long. I mean, Kyle looked like he was taking off with it, and a lot of people go, it almost looked staging away the, M&M Fan Appreciation 400. We got Kyle Busch driving M&Ms. That's just the way it is, man. I mean, he brought a really good piece of equipment, led a majority of that race, man, and just kind of lost the handling, kind of over-adjusted. I guess they just made the wrong adjustment there towards the end, listening to what he said. But I am going to give him big shout-out and big kudos, man. He did the post-race interview that he did before the penalty got released was stand-up. He didn't throw anybody under the bus. He didn't do anything like that. Just talked about how he wanted to bring home that win for M&M's and how cool that would have been. And the big question with him is the contract talks right now. So I'm not going to do that to him, but stand-up interview he did, I'm liking. Hopefully maybe that's a sign of growth, but I know better than that. First time somebody pisses him off, he's going to be right back to doing what he normally does. So like I said earlier in the year, if you're looking for sponsors, man, you got to check into Pampers or feminine products, man. I know them companies out there looking to sponsor Kyle Busch, man. Y'all, that's going to wrap it up for that Pocono recap. We're going to get right into the Indy road course preview, which I really wish y'all we were talking about the Brickyard 400 preview, which we're not. But hopefully maybe that's something NASCAR changes. That's about as far as I'm going to go. You guys heard me rant and rave about it for so long. A lot of people out there don't like Indy. Oh, it's strung out. It's, boring, snooze fest, yada, yada. at the end of the day, to me, it doesn't matter. It's the history of the racetrack for the open wheel. NASCAR trying their hardest for so many years to get to Indy, finally did in 1994 as the inaugural. Jeff Gordon won it. It's just the history of it all, kissing the bricks, doing everything they've done, Stewart climbing the fence there. I mean, come on, there's so much NASCAR history there. So to me, that's a crown jewel event just because of the racetrack. It's hollow ground. I mean, it's historic for open wheel. So many big name guys winning there, legends of just auto racing in general. So at the end of the day, to me, I've been getting into it on Twitter. If you guys follow me or follow Rubbin' and Grubbin', you might have seen a little bit of it. To me, it's a crown jewel race. I think there's probably 5 or 6. Somebody brought up the Bristol night race to me. That's awesome too. I can do with that. You know, hey man, I mean, you know, there's 5 fingers, should be 5 jewels, man. We've all seen the Avengers, man. Thanos got 5 of them bad boys up in here, man. So got to have 5 of them. And if we're not going to go back and race the Brickyard, you might as well go ahead and throw Bristol in there as well, man. But getting into it, that road course, hey, pretty neat little road course they set up. A.J. Allmendinger came home with the victory after some crazy stuff happening with the curbing there last year. So that's going to be my biggest issue with it. And question mark is, what does NASCAR do with that curbing? Do they move it? Do they change it? They did remove it for Sunday, and they still found a way to hit another part of the racetrack that made them get airborne and go crazy. So at the end of the day, man, I expect a wild road course. It's fast, it's turny, it's competitive, man. So we'll see if AJ can go out there and repeat. He's going to be driving that 16 car again. We'll see who can rise to the top, man. If we got another first-time winner on the season, there's still a few guys out there to do it. Or if we got a repeat that, you know, kind of either grows or shrinks that playoff picture. But at the end of the day, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be exciting. If you watch the show, you know I'm not a huge road course fan, but I am a NASCAR fan. I don't miss a race on Sundays. I tell y'all that. I don't care what they are. So, like I said, man, looking forward to it. Going to be a little bit different. We're going to see. I mean, we're going to get into that top 5. I mean, you guys should already know who I got number 1 on that list, just because of 1, the way he races road courses, and 2, what he does. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. That top 5, number 1, y'all see the shirt. Y'all see the shirt, y'all. Come on, man. How you going to bet against the man? I'm going to take Chase Elliott, number 1 on the Indy road course. He's going to go out and go ahead and make it, what did that be, 4 out of the last 6 races with wins or whatever it is. I mean, something crazy like that. Man, on fire, bro. On fire. I'll take the 9 camp all day, number 1. 2 for me. Second guy on the hot list, Ross Chastain. Already got a road course win this year earlier at Circuits of the Americas. You saw what he does. He ain't scared to take Allmendinger and you know, Alex Bowman out to get the win. He ain't scared to take nobody out to get the win. So I'll take him too. There again, consistent. Most top 5s on the season out of everybody driving. Probably about due for another win. It's been a while since he actually got up there and won a race. So we'll see if he can get that 3rd win of the season this week at Indy, man. 3 for me, guy that's been quietly good all season, finds himself a little bit farther back than what we'd expect after the season he had last year, and that's Kyle Larson. I never bet against the man. I'm telling you, he can drive anything, drive anywhere. It doesn't matter what it is. That 5 camp, if you go and look at those regular season stats, man, got a lot of top 10 finishes, got a lot of top 5 finishes, just doesn't have the race win. So they're off a little bit. Some of that is getting caught up into other people's stuff throughout the season. Some of that's their own doing, shooting themselves in the foot. So I think before we get into the playoffs, we're going to see Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson get back on the same page, bring fast equipment. Look out for Kyle Larson there in the 3rd spot on my top 5 this week. 4 for me, might come as a surprise for some folks, but it's not going to come as a surprise for me, and that's going to be Christopher Bell. If there is a Gibbs car that I'm going to take inside this top 5, and there are 2, he's going to be number 1, just for the simple fact you go back and you look at the road courses. These road course races have not been kind to Gibbs all season long. They can't hit on that car setup. They can't find the speed and the handling they need. I'm not ever going to write them out. They got really good equipment. They're one of the top 3 teams in the sport of NASCAR. So if they're going to get it turned around, maybe it's this week. So I'll take a little bit of a shot and put Christopher Bell number 4 for me. Number 5, hey man, it's going to be, you know, kind of split, I guess, if you would. Kyle Busch and maybe Ryan Blaney there if you look for some guys that are going to come home and have good runs. But both of those are kind of equal to me, so I'll take either one of them 5th. There again, Kyle Busch, good road course racer, hadn't had very good luck on him this year. Ryan Blaney, probably one of the best younger drivers at road course racing that's out there. So if you're looking for a top 5, you could take either one of them. I'll split it this week. We'll take 6 of them, man. Dark horses, I got 4 of them lined up, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about each one, but Harvick, good road course. If you watched Sonoma earlier, I think he was in contention for that win. He would have been, came into pit on that final pit stop. Pit crew lost it for him, possibly cost him the 1 win that he really could have contended for this year. So I'll take 4. 2 for me, Austin Cindric. The guy grew up road course racing. He is an ace on road courses. You better be on the lookout for the 2 car this week. There again at Indy on that road course, man. 3, Daniel Suarez. Come on, y'all. Already won one there at, where did he win that one at? Sonoma, right? Oh yeah, he won Sonoma. You know, beating everybody out there. So 99's already got that road course win on the season as well. Trackhouse brings fast cars. I'll take Suarez. Last but not least, the Dinger. AJ Allmendinger, man, we know what that man can do behind the wheel in a road course race. I really, really wish this man, I hope RCR will actually sign this man to a full-time deal in the Cup Series, to be honest. I think that AJ had that shot there at Penske years ago, lost it due to the PED stuff, which is total garbage to me. You know, a workout supplement, came back, tested positive, whatever, got banned, lost that ride. Had to go for that year, the counseling, yada, yada, yada. But Allmendinger's come back, and I really hope that RCR is maybe looking into an experienced veteran that's been in the sport for a while to go out and do that at least for a year. At least for a year. I give it to him for a year, man. So that's my vote for the 8, AJ Allmendinger. Heard it here first, man. But that's going to wrap it up for the top 5, y'all. Getting into the money bet. Now, this is very interesting because me and Lawrence hit a little bit of cabbage this past week, and I don't know how that ended up happening for us as far as what we actually ended up making. But we should have had a top 3 finisher and the win at the end of the day. I don't know if they awarded it just Denny Hamlin winning. But however they did at the end of the day, that's all right, man, with me. We did break even on that one, won a little bit of cabbage there in that Xfinity race. So at the end of the day, we're still in the goods, man. We're still in the plus. So I can't down that at all. Looking pretty good to me, man. So this week, it's really hard to do these road course races just because a lot of the bigger names are deeper in the field for, you know, reasons. I mean, the Gibbs drivers hadn't done good, so you're finding all 3 of them at, you know, 10-to-1 odds plus 1,000, however you want to look at it. So with me, 3 guys off the rip, like I said, I'll go with 3 staples: Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Larson. I'll throw all 3 of those in there as a safe bet for a win. Now, if you're looking to make a little bit more cabbage and maybe Gibbs brings heat, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch are all going to win you a good chunk of change if they are able to pull out that road course win. Now, there again, like I said, they have those odds for a reason. They haven't run good all year long, but never say never. You can guarantee in my 3 guys I pick out, 4 guys I pick out, one of them is going to be in there. I mean, the odds are too good not to. And then there again, if you're looking a little bit further back and you're looking for that, you know, hit and just big money, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, all of them find themselves way down in those odds, man. And I tell you, both of them have road course wins. Both of them can go out and do it. So there again, I'd look at maybe one of those, maybe not necessarily for a win, but a top 3 finish at the odds they're at are still going to pay out good. So we're going to get the list put together. I'll let you guys know how we do next week. But if you're looking for it there, like I said, Dinger, Harvick, Joey Logano, all of them, top 3s there at the road course, definitely going to pay you out pretty good money. Allmendinger, not as high as the other 2, but at the end of the day, maybe a safe bet to take one of the wins, take him, combine the odds. Hey, man, you make a little bit of bread there. So, hey, got to get right into thanking another sponsor, man, Mr. Lamar's Body Shop right up there off Skidaway, man, very close to right here at Coach's Corner. Lamar's been in service for 35 plus years serving the area. He always sponsors the hard right turn, man. So we're getting ready to get into that. But before we do, hey, I say it all the time, stand up, dude. If y'all need any kind of auto body service, whether it's, you know, dents repairs, full paint job, you need an insurance quote for the pesky insurance company like we all know you need, right off Skidaway Road, man. Make sure you check Lamar's Body Shop out. Like I said, stand up dude, been serving the area 35 plus years, have done my family's cars, Lawrence's stuff. So many people that come up here at Coaches and the listening area, man, they're going to speak high volumes about Lamar. He knows exactly what he's doing, and when it comes out to the T, looking perfect. He's not going to cut you under. He's not going to reuse parts. He's going to do everything and anything that he can to make sure that car comes back 100% the way it was before the accident or before whatever caused the damage to it. So there again, Lamar's Body Shop, right up here off Skidaway. You're going to see that number up there and that name scrolling across the top of the screen, just like Arbor Man as well. Lamar, hope to see you up here this weekend, brother, for Departure Journey Tribute, which I'm going to talk about that and Coach's News coming up, y'all. But I hope to see you up here, brother. Love you, man. But getting into that hard right turn, what I want to bring something up, and it's kind of been a hot topic there. I even saw, you know, a couple guys talk about it on a few other social media shows that are out there, bigger ones than me, of course. But they talk about rivalries in NASCAR and how we've just kind of lost rivalries, right? Like in my day growing up, you had guys that would battle it out, guys that didn't necessarily like each other with the way that they race. You know, you had Earnhardt and Martin there for a little while. Of course, you had Earnhardt and Gordon, you know, the Wonder Boy and the Intimidator. I mean, you had both those guys going back and forth, taking shots, racing each other really hard and clean on the racetrack, getting into each other when they needed it. You had Stewart and Gordon. You had, you know, Stewart and other guys. You had so many just rivalries kind of throughout, even before those times, you know. I mean, Petty and Pearson, I mean, come on, those guys might have been really good friends, but they're rivals on the racetrack, man. They want to beat each other. So I'm just talking, getting back into touch with that aspect of it. And I think that the Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain, we're seeing a little bit of that come back. You know, we've seen it a little bit throughout the years. You know, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, a couple other guys for a few weeks, you know, odds and ends. But we're seeing these guys battle a majority of the season, racing each other really hard and not caring if they get into each other. So I'm loving that. So I'm really hoping that we continue to see rivalries grow, because let's be honest, man, these races are only getting harder to win. The field is more competitive than it has been in the last 15, 20 plus years. We got more cars running top 10, top 15, top 20 week in and week out, and those names are shuffling like this constantly. Guys contending for a win. So I think that the more time that we see in this next gen car and these guys racing there and being aggressive, the aggressiveness that we're seeing, because the car is hard to pass, and when you got the run, you got to make the pass. Track position is hard to get back. So they're hard to drive. You got to be aggressive. If aggressive means you got to take guys out to get the checkered flag sometimes, that's what you got to do, man. I mean, so at the end of the day, I think as we go on, rivalries will grow, but I think it's something we really got to get back into the sport of NASCAR. It's good for the sport. It's good for the fans. It's good for all the broadcast television channels that they run on, Fox, NBC, USA, ESPN, Top Tens, all these type things. It is great for the great exposure for the sport. So it's something that we really need to work on getting back in now. I'm not asking for drivers to go out there and dislike each other and hate each other. I'm asking for them to go out and continue what you're doing and let these rivalries come natural. So I'd love to hear your opinion on it. You can always comment on this show when it's posted on YouTube. Write a comment on there if you're subscribed, man. I'll definitely get back to you. Rubbin and Grubbin will definitely get back to you on it. But, man, I tell you what, I can't wait to see what Hamlin and Chastain brings to the table, you know. And not only that, we've seen them get into it with Truex. We've seen them get into it with Chase. We've seen a couple other guys, Logano and Byron. I mean, I don't think Byron's forgot about that payback that he owes Joey Logano. So at the end of the day, we might see some things spark up here as we get further into the playoffs or further into that season, man. So just love it. But love to hear what you guys think about it. So moving on to the grubbing part, and I got a treat for y'all, man. We know that we're going to Indy, but this is one of my favorite things that we do up here, and we've done it before. This is going to be the Philly sandwich out of Coach's, man. I tell you, oh, no, it's not. Oh, man. I got the pork chop, and this is going home with me. This is the special up here on Wednesdays at Coach's. I got the grilled pork chop. We got rice, Hoppin' Johns. We got black eyed peas, man. We got toast. We got the works right here, brother. So I'm telling you right now, my wife is going to be super stoked. This is one of her favorite things from Coach's. So, babe, I'm bringing this pork chop home to you, baby. And I'm going to get a little piece of it, too, hopefully, if she lets me, man, which she usually does. She'll let me get a little bit of it. But, man, I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for really good home-cooked meals, man, I mean, look at the size of this pork chop, y'all. I hope y'all can see that. Look at the size of this damn pork chop. This thing's huge, man. Home-cooked specials right here at Coach's Monday through Friday, right? Monday through Friday. Full menu, everything on the menu is good, but I'm telling you right now, these lunch specials are to die for, man. These guys in the kitchen, they know exactly what they're doing back there to cook up a good home-cooked meal, and this is it. You can get it fried, grilled. I got mine grilled, but fried is just as good, man. So like I say all the time, if you guys haven't yet, make sure you come up to Coach's Corner, whether it's for the lunch special or whether it's for any other item on the menu. Man, good food, good drinks, great people. Make sure you support your local businesses, and especially Coach's Corner, y'all. Right here, man. I can't wait to get home. I'm going to tear this thing up, boy. I'm going to tear this thing up. So, hey, man, got to give a big shout out there to PJ Zuko, Green, White, Checkered. I hadn't heard back from him. I don't know what happened this week, y'all. I don't know if they replayed last week's show. I couldn't tune in. I'm at work on Sundays. But sent a text out to PJ, so hopefully this Sunday you'll be able to tune in. Here, PJ Zuko and myself, Green, White, Checkered, Sundays, 9 to 9:30, ESPN 104.3. You can also stream that on ESPN Coastal's Facebook page. There again, 1043 ESPN, catching you up on all that NASCAR news that happens from now until Sunday morning. So hopefully I hear back from PJ. I hope he's doing all right. It's not like him not to get back to me on something that happened. Probably had some technical difficulties up there at the station, something. But at the end of the day, PJ, I hope you're all right, brother. Make sure you text me, call me, let me know what's going on, brother. But hopefully, Green, White, Checkered, 9 to 9:30, ESPN Coastal's Facebook or ESPN 1043, y'all. Before I get out of here, I got to give a big shout out to all my other shows that are out here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Carl DeMasi drops last night, Who's on First Base, keeping you up to date with everything, man, that happens in Major League Baseball. That trade deadline's inching closer by the day, man. You need to know some stuff. You need to know some feelings on what he's thinking, who's going where, and what's hot and what's not. Coach Carl and Lawson going to keep you up on everything right there, man. Up to date. Coach also drops that, oh, there's my water. There it is. Thank you, Lawrence. Appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. Let me get a sip real quick, y'all. Woo. Kyle Lawson, anyways, keeping you up to date on all that baseball. Coach DeMasi with that Prep Sports Report every Saturday right here live, Coach's Corner, 9 a.m. Keeping you up to date on everything local, man. Boy and girls basketball, boy and girls baseball and softball, soccer, volleyball, tennis, golf, swimming. What am I missing? Lacrosse. What else am I missing? Everything. Football, everything, man. Coach got you covered on all of it local. He knows his stuff. He is actually a coach himself, man. And there's a game I'm going to watch. I'm pretty sure his boy just got hired head coach or one of the coaches over here at Calvary. Oh, you best believe Brandon's going to watch the DeMasi square off on that game. Islands High and Calvary. I got to go sit on the sidelines with Coach DeMasi if he'll let me, man, and give it hell out there with him for a little bit. But, hey, at the end of the day, like I said, make sure you check those two shows. Also got to give a big shout out to my boys, Mr. Sean and Brent Herb out there doing their thing on the 19th hole. Those boys are awesome. That's a one-time-a-year deal. If you hadn't seen it yet, it's always for the Masters. Go on YouTube, check it out. They're crazy, crazy as hell. I'm going to use all my dollars up tonight. They're crazy, man. They said they do some stuff and say some stuff I wouldn't say on my show, but I tell you what, man, they are awesome, man. They know their golf. They know their stuff. Be on the lookout for that. Also, be on the lookout for a 19th hole golf tournament coming to you, Coach's Corner, somewhere September, first part of October. Hopefully, it's in the works, man. Charity event. All the shows going to be squaring off, playing golf against each other, a little 9-hole scramble, all kinds of funky little ins and outs, all for charity. So stay tuned for that. Last but not least, got to give a big shout out to Travis and Spencer over there with Hot Grits. You can stream that anywhere you stream your normal podcast, man. I think it comes out on Tuesday as well. Those guys are funny. They cover every single sport, national sport there is. They even talk some little local stuff that's going on here. They talk all kinds of sports stuff. They even throw tad bits in on what they do and how they feel about it and bets they make and all kinds of different things, man. So at the end of the day, make sure you stream that. That's Hot Grit, streaming anywhere you can catch those podcasts you normally stream, man. But that's going to do it for me tonight up here on Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Hope everybody had an amazing Wednesday out there, man. Like I said, summer is winding down. Spend as much time as you can with the kids before they got to go back to school, man. As I say all the time, hug your loved ones. Make sure you kiss them. Live for today. Tomorrow's not given. And as always, y'all be safe. Until next time, bam. Wash your hands, y'all. Love y'all. Woo!